Holy fucking shit. What happens when you take two great fighting games, Street Fighter and Tekken, and you put them together? Well, you get two games that, when mixed, turn into a great big steaming pile of gorilla shit. Tekken vs. Street Fighter is the worst thing to happen to the world since Dancing with the Stars. This game is nothing more than a $60 balloon. It's a lot of flashy bullshit without any real lasting content.
Alright, let's check out Street Fighter vs. Tekken. Graphically, it's pretty good. Although I don't know why in the fuck they decided to make this a 2D fighting game. I understand that for Street Fighter, but Tekken's never been a 2D fighter. Fuck it. Onto the control. It's simple enough and responsive, but one thing I don't get is why in the flying blue-helled fuck they decided to make the tag, triangle, and circle. Couldn't it have been something a little simpler, like maybe pressing the R3 button? But let's really take a look at what makes this game a cupcake priced as a wedding cake. First up, there's no fucking story mode. Nothing. Just the arcade mode, online mode, practice, and challenge mode, which those two modes could have easily been their own single mode, but they had to fluff this game up somehow. But let's take a look at another crossover game that had a great fucking story mode.
Remember Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe? You played it, right? Everyone has. Remember, that game had a good story that kept your interest and explained the crossover. Street Fighter vs. Tekken has none of that shit. It's not until the fucking end of the game that you end up finding out that you're fighting for Pandora's box. Well, I suppose tricking players into paying $60 for $20 worth of content is certainly an evil that cannot be undone.
Well, the arcade mode is fun for about an hour. You know, you fight tag team style, and that's the first big shit stain with this game. Why in the flying fuck is it a goddamn tag team game? Both series were one-on-one fighters. Why? Why, during the goddamn crossover game, they decide to make it a fucking tag match? What's even stranger is the fact that the first fighter to get beat loses the fight. Well, if it's a goddamn team game, then shouldn't I have to beat both of them? Well, fuck it, they didn't bother to include a story mode, so why in the fuck would they bother to keep the games in line with what the fans remember? So the online mode is your standard pile of shit for a fighting game, but here's my gripe with the online mode. You can get challenged and pulled into an online fight while you're playing the fucking game. I'm sorry, but that is fucking annoying. If I wanted to play online, I go to the online menu. Why would I want to play online when I'm playing the single-player arcade mode? There is one big pain in the ass with this. To get openings and to quote, like, story victory sayings, you have to pick two specific people. Well, then why in the fuck just don't they have the two fighters together on the select screen? But that would mean the makers of this game actually tried. Well, on to the end. The final guy is either Akuma if you're on the Tekken side, or Ogre if you're on the Street Fighter side. You beat either one of them, and you'll see a crappy movie that explains nothing, and that's the game. Last thing I want to say is that if you play as either Akuma or Ogre, you'll get a cool little intro that the two biggest, baddest motherfuckers are finally meeting for a fight. However, their endings are all single. Further frustrating me that this is a tag game and not a goddamn single-player game. And that's pretty much all I have to say about Street Fighter vs. Tekken.
And that's Street Fighter vs. Tekken. And while it's not the worst game I've ever played, how the fuck can they justify charging $60 for this piece of shit? As a $20 game, you know, it's a good purchase. It's like someone buying a Kia and slapping some shit on it and charging what you would charge for a fucking Mercedes. This is what happens when a game company needs to make a quick payday, take two beloved fighting games, make a crossover, slap it together as quick as you can, and send it out. I mean, it's an okay game for your collection, but nowhere near the $60 mark. Wait until this piece of shit hits the fucking bargain bin where it belongs. Or if you're at your GameStop and they're having like a buy one, get one, or buy two, get one free sale, and you can't think of anything better to use your freebie on. But as a game that you would run out and spend $60 for, no, there's not enough content here. There isn't even a goddamn story mode or any of that shit. It's a simple fighting arcade game that you can find a good fucking comparable version for $15 online. So when it gets to be the greatest hits, run out and buy it. Before that, no way.